Leviticus chapter 7. This is the law of the guilt offering. It is most holy. In the place where they kill the burnt offering, they shall kill the guilt offering, and its blood shall be thrown on the altar round about, and all its fat shall be offered, the fat tail, the fat that covers the entrails, the 2 kidneys with the fat that is on them at the loins, and the appendage of the liver, which he shall take away with the kidneys. The priest shall burn them on the altar as an offering by the fire to the Lord. It is a guilt offering. Every male among the priests may eat of it. It shall be eaten in a holy place. It is most holy. The guilt offering is like the sin offering. There is one law for them. The priest who makes atonement with it shall have it, and the priest who offers any man's burnt offering shall have for himself the skin of the burnt offering which he has, and every cereal offering baked in the oven, and all that is prepared on a pan or a griddle shall belong to the priest who offers it. And every cereal offering mixed with oil or dry shall be for all the sons of Aaron, one as well as another. Further instructions. And this is the law of the sacrifice of peace offerings which one may offer to the Lord. If he offers it for a thanksgiving, then he shall offer with the thank offering unleavened cakes mixed with oil, unleavened wafers spread with oil, and cakes of fine flour, well mixed with oil. With the sacrifice of his peace offerings for thanksgiving, he shall bring his offerings with cakes of leavened bread, and of such he shall offer 1 cake from each offering as an offering to the Lord. It shall belong to the priest who throws the blood of the peace offerings, and the flesh of the sacrifice of his peace offerings for thanksgiving shall be eaten on the day of his offering. He shall not leave any of it until the morning. But if the sacrifice of his offering is a votive offering or a free will offering, it shall be eaten on the day that he offers his sacrifice, and on the morrow what remains of it shall be eaten. But what remains of the flesh of the sacrifice on the 3rd day shall be burned with fire. If any of the flesh of the sacrifice of his peace offering is eaten on the 3rd day, he who offers it shall not be accepted, neither shall it be credited to him. It shall be an abomination, and he who eats of it shall bear his iniquity. Flesh that touches any unclean thing shall not be eaten. It shall be burned with fire. All who are clean may eat flesh, but the person who eats of the flesh of the sacrifice of the Lord's peace offerings, while an uncleanness is on him, that person shall be cut off from his people. And if anyone touches an unclean thing, whether the uncleanness of man, or an unclean beast, or any unclean abomination, and then eats of the flesh of the sacrifice of the Lord's peace offerings, that person shall be cut off from his people. The Lord said to Moses, "Say to the people of Israel, you shall eat no fat of ox or sheep or goat. The fat of an animal that dies of itself, and the fat of one that is torn by beasts, may be put to any other use, but on no account shall you eat it. For every person who eats of the fat of an animal of which an offering by fire is made to the Lord shall be cut off from his people. Moreover, you shall eat no blood whatever, whether of fowl or of animal in any of your dwellings. Whoever eats any blood, that person shall be cut off from his people. The Lord said to Moses, Say to the people of Israel, He that offers the sacrifice of his peace offerings to the Lord shall bring his offering to the Lord. From the sacrifice of his peace offerings, he shall bring with his own hands the offerings by fire to the Lord. He shall bring the fat with the breast, and that the breast may be waved as a wave offering before the Lord. The priest shall burn the fat on the altar, but the breast shall be for Aaron and his sons. And the right thigh you shall give to the priest as an offering from the sacrifice of your peace offerings. He among the sons of Aaron who offers the blood of the peace offerings and the fat shall have the right thigh, a portion, for the breast that is waved and the thigh that is offered. I have taken from the people of Israel out of the sacrifices of their peace offerings and have given them to Aaron, the priest, and to his sons as a perpetual due from the people of Israel. This is the portion of Aaron and of his sons from the offerings made by fire to the Lord, consecrated to them on the day they were presented to serve as priests of the Lord. The Lord commanded this to be given them by the people of Israel on the day that they were anointed. It is a perpetual due throughout their generations. This is the law of burnt offering, of the cereal offering, of the sin offering, of the guilt offering, of the consecration, and of the peace offerings, which the Lord commanded Moses on Mount Sinai, on the day that he commanded the people of Israel to bring their offerings to the Lord in the wilderness of Sinai. Leviticus chapter 8. The Rites of Ordination. The Lord said to Moses, Take Aaron and his sons with him, and the garments, and the anointing oil, and the bull of the sin offering, and the 2 rams, and the basket of unleavened bread, and assemble all the congregation at the door of the tent of meeting. And Moses did as the Lord commanded him. And the congregation was assembled at the door of the tent of meeting. And Moses said to the congregation, This is the thing which the Lord has commanded to be done. And Moses brought Aaron and his sons and washed them with water. And he put on him the coat, and girded him with the girdle, and clothed him with the robe, and put the ephod upon him, and girded him with the skillfully woven band of the ephod, binding it to him therewith. And he placed the breastpiece on him, and in the breastpiece he put the Urim and the Thummim. And he set the turban upon his head, and on the turban in front he set the golden plate, the holy crown, as the Lord commanded Moses. Then Moses took the anointing oil and anointed the tabernacle and all that was in it, and consecrated them. And he sprinkled some of it on the altar 7 times, and anointed the altar and all its utensils, and the laver and its base, to consecrate them. And he poured some of the anointing oil on Aaron's head, and anointed him, to consecrate him. And Moses brought Aaron's sons and clothed them with coats and girded them with girdles and bound caps on them, as the Lord commanded Moses. Then he brought the bull of the sin offering, and Aaron and his sons laid their hands upon the head of the bull of the sin offering. And Moses killed it, and took the blood, and with his finger put it on the horns of the altar round about, and purified the altar, and poured out the blood at the base of the altar, and consecrated it to make atonement for it. And he took all the fat that was on the entrails, and the appendage of the liver, and the 2 kidneys with their fat, and Moses burned them on the altar. But the bull and its skin and its flesh and its dung he burned with fire outside the camp, as the Lord commanded Moses. Then he presented the ram of the burnt offering, and Aaron and his sons laid their hands on the head of the ram, and Moses killed it, and threw the blood upon the altar round about. And when the ram was cut into pieces, Moses burned the head and the pieces and the fat. And when the entrails and the legs were washed with water, Moses burned the whole ram on the altar as a burnt offering and pleasing odor, an offering by fire to the Lord, as the Lord commanded Moses. Then he presented the other ram, the ram of ordination, and Aaron and his sons laid their hands on the head of the ram, and Moses killed it, and took some of its blood, and put it on the tip of Aaron's right ear, and on the thumb of his right hand, and on the great toe of his right foot. And Aaron's sons were brought, and Moses put some of the blood on the tips of their right ears, and on the thumbs of their right hands, and on the great toes of their right feet. And Moses threw the blood upon the altar round about. Then he took the fat and the fat tail, and all the fat that was on the entrails, and the appendage of the liver, and the 2 kidneys with their fat, and the right thigh. And out of the basket of unleavened bread which was before the Lord, he took 1 unleavened cake, and 1 cake of bread with oil, and 1 wafer, and placed them on the fat and on the right thigh. And he put all these in the hands of Aaron and in the hands of his sons, and waved them as a wave offering before the Lord. Then Moses took them from their hands and burnt them on the altar with the burnt offering, and as an ordination offering, a pleasing odor, an offering by fire to the Lord. And Moses took the breast and waved it for a wave offering before the Lord. It was Moses' portion of the ram of ordination, as the Lord commanded Moses. Then Moses took some of the anointing oil and of the blood which was on the altar, and sprinkled it upon Aaron and his garments, and also upon his sons and his sons' garments. So he consecrated Aaron and his garments, and his sons and his sons' garments with him. And Moses said to Aaron and his sons, "Boil the flesh at the door of the tent of meeting, and there eat it, and the bread that is in the basket of ordination offerings, as I commanded, saying, Aaron and his sons shall eat it, and what remains of the flesh and the bread you shall burn with fire. And you shall not go out from the door of the tent of the meeting for 7 days, until the days of your ordination are completed, and for it will take 7 days to ordain you. As has been done today, the Lord has commanded to be done to make atonement for you. At the door of the tent of meeting, you shall remain day and night for 7 days, performing what the Lord has charged, lest you die. For so I am commanded. And Aaron and his sons did all the things which the Lord commanded by Moses. Leviticus chapter 9. Aaron's priesthood inaugurated. On the 8th day Moses called Aaron and his sons and the elders of Israel, and he said to Aaron, "Take a bull calf for a sin offering and a ram for a burnt offering, both without blemish, and offer them before the Lord. And say to the people of Israel, take a male goat for a sin offering, and a calf and a lamb, both a year old, without blemish, for a burnt offering, and an ox and a ram for peace offerings to sacrifice before the Lord, and a cereal offering mixed with oil for today. For today the Lord will appear to you." And they brought what Moses commanded before the tent of meeting. And all the congregation drew near and stood before the Lord. And Moses said, "This is the thing which the Lord commanded you to do, and the glory of the Lord will appear to you." Then Moses said to Aaron, "Draw near to the altar and offer your sin offering and your burnt offering, and make atonement for yourself and for the people, and bring the offering of the people and make atonement for them, as the Lord has commanded." So Aaron drew near to the altar and killed the calf of the sin offering, which was for himself. And the sons of Aaron presented the blood to him, and he dipped his finger in the blood and put it on the horns of the altar, and poured out the blood at the base of the altar. But the fat and the kidneys and the appendage of the liver from the sin offering he burnt upon the altar, as the Lord commanded Moses. The flesh and the skin he burnt with fire outside the camp, and he killed the burnt offering. And Aaron's sons delivered to him the blood, and he threw it on the altar round about. And they delivered the burnt offering to him, piece by piece, and the head, and he burned them upon the altar. And he washed the entrails and the legs, and burned them with the burnt offering on the altar. Then he presented the people's offering, and took the goat of the sin offering which was for the people, and killed it, and offered it for sin, like the first sin offering. And he presented the burnt offering, and offered it according to the ordinance. And he presented the cereal offering, and filled his hand from it, and burnt it upon the altar besides the burnt offering of the morning. He killed the ox also, and the ram, the sacrifice of peace offerings for the people. And Aaron's sons delivered to him the blood, which he threw upon the altar round about. And the fat of the ox and of the ram, the fat tail, and that which covers the entrails, and the kidneys, and the appendage of the liver. And they put the fat upon the breasts, and he burnt the fat upon the altar. But the breasts and the right thigh Aaron waved for a wave offering before the Lord, as Moses commanded. Then Aaron lifted up his hands towards the people and blessed them, and he came down from offering the sin offering and the burnt offering and the peace offerings. And Moses and Aaron went into the tent of meeting, and when they came out, they blessed the people, and the glory of the Lord appeared to all the people. And fire came forth from before the Lord and consumed the burnt offering and the fat upon the altar. And when all the people saw it, they shouted and fell on their faces.